items number 2, SB 916, and item 3, SB 1071.
Yeah. Either way, doesn't matter.
And you are doing item 2?
Yes, SB 916.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair and committee members. It's my pleasure today to present SB 916, which seeks to reestablish single subject credentials in theater and dance. Now, the bill is not a new idea nor a new solution, but I'm happy that this policy has garnered quite a bit more support from the arts and the educator communities this year than ever before. We're accepting the staff recommendations to clarify candidates in the teaching pipeline are subject to current credentialing laws. And additionally, a few supporters are continuing to work with our office about the implementation process of the bill, which we will continue discussing as the bill moves forward. So with that, I want to give you a little bit of background as to what brings us to this moment. I loved the arts as a kid. My mom's an artist, and I played music, and I know playing Captain Hook in my high school theater production of Peter Pan was a highlight of growing up, and I've kept on with that villainous streak ever since. I realized I was very fortunate to have been raised in a community that very much valued the arts and understood the positive influence that arts can have on young people. In fact, research has shown very consistently that with a higher level of arts involvement, students are much more likely to be high achievers on tests. They're much less likely to drop out. They're much more likely to be engaged in school. If you actually look at so many of the students that we sit around this table talking about a great deal, who feel disconnected from the traditional academic curriculum, the arts have been shown over and over again to play a really important role in keeping them engaged and feeling connected to school. So I'm now chair of the Legislators' Joint Committee on the Arts, and we had a hearing just last fall to talk about whether the arts are really adequately being incorporated into the curriculum as state law requires, and that's a broader discussion for us all to have. But of the many things discussed, one of the key takeaways was the fact that it turns out that California and West Virginia are the only 2 states in the entire nation that don't issue teaching credentials in theater and dance. And for a state that prides itself on being the arts and entertainment capital of the world, this is just a glaring oversight that really ought to be addressed. As you know, there are 13 core subjects for which specific credentials are authorized. Art and music are among them, but for no logical reason, theater and dance are not. In fact, theater and dance are also the only 2 subjects that have detailed standards delineated in state law that are not associated with a standalone credential. Now, more than 200 of our colleges and universities offer theater dance majors here in the state of California alone, but graduates hoping to teach in these fields are required to obtain a credential in English or physical education. This makes about as much sense as requiring Spanish teachers to get a credential in French, because there may be some similarities between the two. It just doesn't respect these core academic disciplines or the kids who deserve highly qualified teachers in those subjects. So I've authored SB 916, the Theater and Dance Act, ta-da, to establish single subject credentials in theater and dance. Under this new proposal, new teachers entering the profession will no longer be required to earn a credential in an unrelated subject. And for those teachers who have completed the required coursework to teach theater or dance in addition to another subject for which they've earned a credential, nothing will change. We're grandfathering folks in. We still have this authorization process so that, for example, if you're right now, if you're a math teacher and you want to teach science and you have some science coursework, you can do that with no trouble. We're proud that the CTA debated this, and after a long-standing opposition to this, they've now come on board in support of this bill and of this idea. We're still discussing with them an amendment to clarify exactly what a grandfathering clause will entail, and we look forward to continuing that discussion with all of our supporters and our committee staff. We're very honored today to have 2 fantastic witnesses. First of all, a wonderful student named Nadia Linehouse, who will speak a little bit about her experiences, and then, of course, the award-winning actress Annette Bening, who will also speak to this bill. And with that, I'd love to turn to Nadia, with the permission of the chair.
Thank you. Welcome and in support of the bill.
Good morning. My name is Nadia Linehouse. Oh, is it on? Yes. My name is Nadia Linehouse, and I'm a student at Palo Alto High School. In my life, I have been both a theater and a dance student, and starting at ballet at age 3, I spent 9 years learning how to access my emotions to create a story through movement. The summer after third grade, searching for a niche among my peers, I discovered theater, and there I was able to grow from the shy, dark-skinned girl who skipped at grade to Ariel in The Tempest. Since then, guided by my amazing teachers over the years, I've become a confident performer. The arts have given me perspective, taught me empathy, and helped me develop a sense of self-worth and purpose. I know I was fortunate to have such passionate mentors and programs, but without access to these safe spaces for personal growth, many other students, outsiders like me, might not get a chance to believe in themselves. As a minority, being on stage at all is a challenge to society's norms, and that's a good thing. When race-blind casting is used, or I am playing a role that showcases my ethnicity, the audience is given the chance to view me and people who look like me in a different way. By giving me my chance, my school's theater aids the ongoing struggle to demolish racial prejudice in the world and allows me to use my talents to help. The open attitude of my drama teachers encourages the audience to think about race and equality in America in new and powerful ways. Because of school theater, I have seen the world I live in and now have the chance and strength to challenge it. My arts teachers have given me access to ways of thinking that broadened my mindset and worldview. I think every child deserves that opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to be here. I'm really thrilled, and I've never done this before. I'm very excited, and I appreciate the chance. So, I grew up in California. I went to public school from second grade through college. I'm very proud of that. It's a humble brag, as my daughter would say. I went to Mesa Community College in San Diego, and I graduated from San Francisco State with a theater degree. So having this chance to come and really say thank you to my teachers and to speak to this issue means a lot to me. Okay, so I'm going to reiterate some of the things that the senator already said, if I may. Under the current system, a dance major cannot teach dance in our state unless they also get a physical education credential. A theater major, like I was, can't teach theater in this state in the public schools unless I go out and get an English credential. So we are one of 2 states in the entire nation that has this problem. And this bill basically rectifies that. It would establish credentials in theater and dance similar to those already that we have in music and in visual arts. So just to make a distinction here, what does an English teacher do? An English teacher has a great knowledge of literature. They teach grammar. They teach forms of speech. And they try to introduce reading, getting kids to read deeply, think deeply, and write cogently about a piece of literature, whether it's a novel or a poem or a short story. And that's a great skill, and it's a great art. Theater training is an entirely different experience. If I'm a theater teacher, I'm going to take a great piece of dramatic literature, whether it's Shakespeare or Thornton Wilder or Lorraine Hansberry, and I'm going to say, okay, kids, we're not going to sit at the desks to understand this piece of literature. We're going to push the desks to the side, and we're going to stand in a circle, and we're going to look at each other, and we're going to begin to not only intellectually absorb the brilliance of this writer, but on an emotional level and on a gut level. And that's the essence of theater and dramatic writing. It's a marriage of something that has great intellectual rigor with emotion and feeling. So that's the first step, is just getting everybody up. And then the second step is to teach them teamwork and discipline and generosity. You have to learn to listen. You have to learn to be there for the other person and really connect to other people in order to serve the writer. And the final step is then to open up the circle and stand on a stage, like you were mentioning, and try to communicate this experience to other people. So I'm not arguing that every kid become a theater artist, an actor, director, or a designer or whatever. I'm not suggesting that. But I am suggesting that learning how to take something that's intellectually complex and connect to it on an emotional level and then be able to communicate that is a very important skill. It's often what you all are doing on a day-to-day basis, is trying to take huge amounts of information and detail, understand it, make it clear and simple, and communicate it in a passionate and direct way. So, don't get me wrong, I loved my English teachers. My ninth grade English teacher, Mrs. McLaughlin, took me to my first play at the Old Globe in San Diego, so I'm very grateful to her. I've been able to thank her publicly. And I had a great drama teacher who actually was an actress at the Old Globe, and she was very passionate about what she taught, and she used very sophisticated means, which I didn't even know at the time. It wasn't until later, and I started studying theater in more depth, that I understood and was able to really get what she was teaching us. So, in closing, I was at my kids' school. My daughter goes to a private school in San Diego, in Los Angeles, called Buckley, and the dance teacher there, who I've known for many years, she's been there over 20 years, as have I. I have 4 kids. She said, "Oh, I heard you spoke about this bill that's coming out for us dance teachers." And I said to her, "Well, what about that?" She said, "Annette, I have a master's degree in dance, and I cannot teach in the public schools. I couldn't if I wanted to." So can you imagine the number of people in our state who have high degrees in theater and dance, and they can't teach in our state because of this law? So now, and from what I understand, it was really an unintended error. It was really an oversight that created this in the first place. It was just a technical thing that then got turned into something else. We used to have this prior to this change in 1960. We did have these credentials, and then they were eliminated. So I'm here to say, please do this for us. I think it's the right thing. I think it serves students, it dignifies our teachers, and it will uplift our community.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill.
Ma'am, thank you, Madam Chair and members. Jason Schmelzer here on behalf of the California Arts Advocates. I want to associate my comments with those previously made. Also, on behalf of the Boeing Company, which does not have an official position on the bill, I really want to follow up on what Ms. Bending said about these intellectually complex ideas, learning to communicate them, and the important skills. Frankly, the company wanted me to come today and just express our profound appreciation for arts education in California, and frankly, its imperative role in educating the scientists, engineers, and leaders of the future. So with that, we greatly appreciate what the Senator is doing, and we're happy to support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill.
Yes. Good morning, Madam Chair and members. I am Isabel Garcia, and on behalf of the 325,000 talented and dedicated teachers of the California Teachers Association, we are pleased to offer or urge your strong support for this landmark bill. We appreciate the author and sponsor for bringing the bill forward, and we look forward to working closely with the author and sponsor on the practical implementation issues of the bill as cited in our position letter and reflected in the committee bill analysis. We urge your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Others in support of the bill?
Donna Archukovich, California State PTA. I'm a former drama teacher with a major in English and a major in theater arts, and believe me, you cannot teach theater if you have an English major. You'd be a rare person if you could. Please pass this bill.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Ron Rapp speaking on behalf of the California Federation of Teachers in strong support of this bill. This bill is really important to our members. In fact, they passed a resolution to sponsor such legislation. We believe that every subject area should have the highest quality educator in the classroom. We believe that this will increase the quality of teachers teaching theater and dance. And take it from a former English teacher, I would be horrified to be assigned a theater class. Thank you. We urge your support.
My name is Jessie Cronenberg. I am a full-time dance teacher at El Cerrito High School, also PE credentialed, also the co-president of the California Dance Education Association. We're here to ask your support and present our own for this bill. For the dignity of the teachers, thank you, Ms. Benning, for that language. We appreciate your support and provide our own. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Kathleen Woods from Palo Alto High School. I'm a full-time theater teacher. I'm also a member of the California Educational Theater Association Board, which has been very active in trying to get support for the bill. And I have been a theater educator since 1979. And I have never been certified in theater. I have an MFA. And so on many levels, I ask your support for the bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Carol Hovey. I'm president of the California Educational Theater Association. I teach high school theater at Livermore Valley Joint Unified School District. I have 2 degrees from San Francisco State University in theater, and I had to create an independent English minor in order to get a credential to teach theater.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Armelinda Loho, president, California Art Education Association. In support of this bill, and we believe that students deserve instruction from teachers trained and credentialed in specific fields of dance and theater, the same as in visual art.
Thank you.
I'm Scott Hedgecock. I am the president of the California Music Educators Association, one of the 4 members of the 4 Arts Education Coalition, and that you've heard the others already. And we stand strongly in support of this issue, this equity issue for teachers and for students in California, and we urge your support.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kay Jones. I'm on the National Educational Theater Association Board, also on CETA, also DTASC, Drama Teachers Association of Southern California, and California Thespians, also the founder of California Youth in Theater. I'm probably one of the few people who did get a certification under the Fisher Bill in 1964, so I've been working on this since then, and I am a proud member of retired CTA, so it is time for us. Thank you so much, Senator Allen, everyone.
Thank you.
Kathy Lynch, representing the California Alliance for Arts Education and Sport. And I've been at this about 20 years with the resolution that Senator Johnston carried to have the Commission on Teacher Credentialing look at this, and then Assemblywoman Davis out of San Diego carried the legislation. And so I'm so pleased to Senator Allen here today, and just reflecting on Annette Benning being here as a product of all this, and Nadia being our future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, Christopher Castrillo on behalf of the City of Santa Monica in support.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Leilani Aguinaldo on behalf of the Los Angeles Unified School District in support.
Thank you.
Danielle Kando-Kaiser on behalf of Common Sense Kids Action. We awarded this bill our star rating for kids, and we are in strong support.
Thank you.
Hello, Derek Lennox on behalf of the Palos Verdes Peninsula Unified School District. The district is incredibly appreciative of Senator Allen working on this bill, and while they recognize that there are many challenges facing the state, this is nevertheless one of their highest priority bills. So thank you.
Thank you.
Barry Broad on behalf of the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. This is a very important bill for our union, and they told me about 55 times to get over here. So I'm here. We support the bill.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jessica Jones. I'm a student at HSU getting ready to enter the credential program. I am very much in support of this bill, and I want to thank you for putting it forward.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Deborah Boehm. I'm a teacher in Riverside, California. I was a theater arts major, but without that option for teaching, I have been teaching elementary school for 18 years. I strongly support this bill.
Thank you.
Michelle Harris-Padron, first grade teacher, Oxnard, California, and I just want to express my support for the bill for many reasons already stated.
Thank you very much. Okay, any others in support of the bill? Is there any opposition to the bill? The committee did not receive anything in writing. Are any comments from members? Senator Monning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank Senator Allen and all the supporters for
particularly the witnesses for being here today. In my region, we have 26% of children living in poverty, many of them immigrant workers, agriculture, hospitality, tourism. This is Monterey, San Luis Obispo, Santa Cruz counties. And when we've had the crisis of funding for education with our recession, 2009, the first things to be cut in public education are theater arts, music, physical education. And in our experience, many at-risk children, the on-ramp they find to some self-respect, purpose, a pathway, it is through the arts, as you mentioned. So I just want to thank you for your leadership on this. Thank you to our witnesses for being here today. It seems like you have put together the winning coalition here, and look forward to supporting this. And Madam Chair, at the appropriate time, I'd be glad to move the bill.
Thank you very much. Senator Leyva.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senator Allen, I just want to thank you for bringing this forward as a former ballerina and a former member of the dance team on my high school. I want to echo what Nadia said. It gave me confidence. It taught me how to carry myself. Candidly, I wasn't that great, so I went on to pursue other things. But I think that our young people need this, and I'm just thrilled, and candidly also didn't know that this was a problem. So thank you for finding the problem and fixing it.
Thank you. And Senator Vidak.
Senator Allen, I'm liking you more and more every day. This is an absolute awesome bill from a family of dance teachers and dancers. And then you all know my big F-250 pickup down there, the big diesel. Those license plates are supporting the arts, and something you didn't know. So anyway, I am wholeheartedly in support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any other comments or questions from members? The bill has been moved. Thank you, Senator Allen, for bringing this before us. And I think, let's call the roll.
Okay, this is item number 2, SB 916. Do pass as amended to appropriations. Liu?
Aye.
Liu, aye. Block? Aye. Block, aye. Hancock? Hancock, aye. Huff? Huff, aye. Leyva? Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Mendoza, aye. Monning? Monning, aye. Pan? Aye. Pan, aye. Vidak? Aye. Vidak, aye. 9-0.
9-0, the bill is out. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Okay. Senator Allen, you have another bill before us. Item 3, SB 1071.
All right. This bill is nearly as exciting. It is. It actually is. It's very important. We're talking about pipeline in this committee always. And, one of the things that Ms. Benning and I discussed with Pro Tem De Leon when he came in to see Ms. Benning, when we talked about one of the diversity challenges in the entertainment industry, and so much of those challenges can be addressed by providing higher quality arts education training to our young people in disadvantaged communities. We also, of course, know how extraordinarily important early childhood education is. And this bill comes out of a lot of conversations that I've had with folks in my district, and I hope it will spur some really high-quality conversations about the way that we finance early childhood education and how it ties in with both the challenges and opportunities that exist with children with disabilities. And so let's have a conversation, and I'm just honored to present SB 1071, which would establish dedicated state funding for educational services provided to 3 and 4-year-old children with disabilities. So, as you know, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act requires school districts to provide educational services to preschool-aged children with disabilities. So there's a set of requirements that are imposed upon school districts that require them to provide services to those children with disabilities long before they show up at kindergarten. But the state does not provide dedicated funding for these services. And as a result, school districts end up having to use their K through 12 local control funding formula dollars and other general, other local education funds to backfill these costs. These are effectively unrestricted general fund dollars that are having to be used to work with these students that we're required to work with and provide services to under federal law. And it turns out that during the 13-14 school year, school districts, through their regional special education agencies, the SELPAs, reported expenditures of more than nearly $500 million on legally mandated services to preschool age 3- and 4-year-old children with disabilities, and reported receiving only $97 million from federal grants to cover the cost, leaving a hole of nearly $400 million that was covered using other local education funds, effectively general fund dollars that we all need for all the other services that take place within a school district. In 2013, the California Statewide Special Education Task Force was formed and charged with studying why it is that special education is not more successful in terms of outcomes, and also to make recommendations on changes needed in both policy and practice to improve services for all children. I know this is an issue that this committee has looked at, and one of the key recommendations from the task force dealt with ensuring the availability of high-quality preschools for children with disabilities. And the task force recommended $150 million annually, or approximately $3,000 for each preschool child identified as needing special education services. So SB 1071 would establish a permanent funding adjustment to each SELPA's base funding calculation to support special education and related services for 3- and 4-year-old children with exceptional needs. And of course, it would be contingent on an appropriation in the Budget Act. But I want you to I want to bring up, this came to my attention because one of the school districts in my district, Torrance, has basically come to a point where they have created, using general fund dollars, a early childhood program, a preschool program, that both covers the special needs students that they need to cover under IDEA, but that also opens up a good quality early childhood program to the whole community. I don't know about your communities, but one of the biggest challenges we have in our communities in my district is with the issue of affordability and quality and access to early childhood education. And it's incredibly expensive for anybody who is not eligible for things like Head Start. And our communities are crying out for access. Torrance realized that they were spending so much money sending a lot of these kids out of the school district to special day programs and elsewhere, that they might as well form a good quality integrated early childhood program within the school district that allows them to both educate in a high quality mainstream manner the special needs children, in addition to the mainstream children as well. And they've done it successfully, but of course they've had to use a lot of general fund dollars to do that. So we're trying to address this issue through SB 1071. We don't have any opposition to this bill, and we've got several witnesses here to testify to the bill.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill, please.
Hi, I'm Maureen O'Leary-Burness, and I had the honor of being the co-executive director of the statewide special ed task force that was just referenced here. In fact, every one of you senators received this last spring, and I know many of you are in fact familiar with it because of the recommendations in there. We were in fact tasked with two primary issues, and that was first to identify the barriers to successful opportunities for students with disabilities in the state, and then second, to make recommendations about what to do differently for those students in order to improve the outcomes. And this was in recognition of the fact that most students with disabilities in our state do not have successful outcomes post-graduation. And so in the area of early learning, the primary barriers that we identified for students were first just simply access. There is inequitable access throughout the state for what children at the ages of 3 and 4 have access to in the area of preschool. So last year, for example, one of the things that you saw in the state budget was more state preschool positions added to begin to address that number. But then the other was simply the lack of funding. So that has been clarified. We do get, in fact, federal funding at the preschool level. But that is not even 20% of what it costs school districts to provide the special ed services, and there are not special ed state dollars assigned. And then the other big issue was that we needed to improve outcomes. And what we did see was that there's lots of research that shows that an investment of early intervening dollars for students at the youngest levels, in fact, do improve outcomes for those children themselves, for their families, and they save money to the state in the long run. So for those reasons, our task force did recommend that there be more access to preschool options for students at the ages of 3 and 4, and that specifically it be better funded. So we did have several different subcommittees on this task force. One of them was an early learning subcommittee, and one of them was on special ed finance. And they did a wonderful job of working together on ensuring that their recommendations supported each other. So specific to this bill, I think it's important to know that our federal funding at the special ed preschool level is about $2,070 per student in the 15-16 year. But the average expenses for students in special ed are over $10,000 as reported in the 13-14 school year. And as a previous SELPA director myself, in my last school district, we set up preschool programs for children with autism, which cost me over $40,000 per student. And the issue is that the numbers of students with autism, of course, I'm sure you've heard this multiple times, are increasing and increasing and increasing. So that average includes both those students and, for example, just students who need, for example, speech and language. I did want to make sure that the analysis notes that there are dollars associated for state preschool, but those are for the state preschool slots, and that may provide access for a student with disabilities, but it doesn't provide funding specifically for any of the special education needs. And I think that's a really important distinction. We're greatly appreciative of the fact that there's access, but the special ed dollars are still inadequate to support them. So this bill does attempt to begin to address that underfunding of special education preschool services, and I definitely want to thank you, Senator Allen, and the committee for the opportunity to speak to support this.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Mary Samples, and I represent the Ventura County Special Education Local Plan Area and our 20-member districts. I also serve as the secretary for the Coalition for Adequate Funding for Special Education, and I was privileged to be the chairperson of the fiscal subcommittee on the statewide task force. We have about 140,000 students in Ventura County, a very diverse county. 17,315 of those students are students with disabilities, and over 2,000 of those 17,000 are preschool students with disabilities. We just received our preschool funds for this year to serve our students with disabilities, and it provided $1,050 per student, per preschooler with disabilities. Our districts spend over $10,000, upward of $10,000 on each of these students, and even more, as Maureen mentioned, for students who have more moderate to severe disabilities. The districts in my area are currently funding 47% of the special education, total special education costs, which is $110 million that they're funding out of their local general funds. I know that LCFF is a K-12 funding model, and it does not prevent our districts from spending money on preschool, but it continues to provide big challenges when the LCFF and LCAP needs are great. This bill would provide the much-needed funding for our preschoolers with exceptional needs, a group of students where we have the greatest opportunities to mitigate their disabilities and to try to ensure their entry into the K-12 system with their greatest opportunity for success. And I thank you, Senator Allen, for proposing this bill, and thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. In support.
Laura Preston, Association of California School Administrators. We're pleased to be a co-sponsor of the bill.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Munguia with the California Association of School Business Officials, representing school business officials throughout the state. We're also proud to be co-sponsors of the bill. I want to thank Senator Allen for bringing it forward and urge your support.
Thank you. Others in support of the bill?
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Steve Ward. I'm representing the California School Funding Coalition, representing over 40 districts and 600,000 students across the state. We strongly support SB 1071, and we truly appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Nancy Lacoste, and I'm representing Sacramento City Unified School District and Clovis Unified School District in strong support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair and members, Jeff Frost, representing the California Association of Suburban School District and the county superintendents of schools in Tulare, Madera, Kings, Fresno, and Merced counties in support.
Thank you.
Good morning, Michelle McKay Underwood on behalf of the Torrance Unified School District, very much in support.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jeff Vaca, representing the Riverside County Superintendent of Schools and the 23 school district superintendents in Riverside County in support of the bill.
Thank you.
Laura Parr on behalf of the SELPA Administrators of California in support.
Thank you.
My name is Jacqueline Maxwell. I'm an HSU student child development major planning to go into the special education credential program, and I currently work as a behavioral therapist and have been very lucky to see the benefits of early intervention services, even seeing some that I've worked with go on to enter the K-12 in mainstream classrooms. So I very much support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Martin. I too am a HSU student, and I'm a child development major, and I plan on becoming a special education teacher, so thank you for bringing this forward. I'd like to see these children not fall through the cracks and succeed, so thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Molly Padigo, and I'm an HSU student, and I am also a special ed student, and I support this bill.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Ron Rapp on behalf of the California Federation of Teachers, speaking in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Rita Perez, and I'm a HSU student, also majoring in child development, and planning to go into special education for early intervention for preschool to elementary grades, and I strongly support this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa Desma, UC Davis student representing Richmond and Students for Education Reform, and we strongly believe that funding special education is very important in creating equitable opportunities. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any others in support of the bill? Is there opposition to the bill? The committee did not receive anything in writing or any comments or questions from members. Senator Pan.
I just want to thank you, Senator Allen, for bringing this bill forward. As a pediatrician who takes care of children, many children who have chronic conditions, developmental issues, this is extremely vital because what people don't realize is early intervention ends at 3, and actually that's where special ed is supposed to pick up. But even working with parents, my kid hasn't started school yet, and that schools are challenged because if they don't have funding. Yeah. So we have a lot of children with special needs who need special ed to be ready for them at that age. And this is important to be sure that the schools have the resources to do that. Yeah. So I urge support for this bill and would like to move it at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. And Senator Vidak?
Senator, 2 for 2. Great bill. I'll give you a 10.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
This addresses a very kind of thorny subject between the state and the federal government in terms of responsibility for special education. And while it's not, we're not going to solve this problem today, but when we have a little largesse, and perhaps the powers that be would support your bill in terms of granting the $150 million to the much needed SELPAs. And so, we're going to support the bill today, and hopefully it's a step in the direction to trying to resolve this inequity that we see in the state of California versus the feds. So if the bill has been moved and no other further questions, let's call the roll.
This is item number 3, SB 1071. The motion is due pass to appropriations. Liu?
Aye.
Liu, aye. Block? Aye. Block, aye. Hancock? Huff? Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Monning? Aye. Monning, aye. Pan? Aye. Pan, aye. Vidak?
Aye.
Vidak, aye.
Thank you very much. You have 6 votes, sufficient for passage. We'll keep the roll open for our absent members. Thank you very much. Senator Glazer, you have item 10, SB 1450.